Cabin 1. Zeus. The very first cabin belongs to Zeus, king of the gods, and it dominates Camp Half-Blood like a fortress. Built from white marble, it resembles a temple with bronze doors polished to reflect streaks of lightning when sunlight hits them. Inside, the ceiling displays a mosaic of blue and white clouds, and the walls are lined with alcoves holding golden eagle statues. The interior is intentionally sparse, containing little more than a bed for the current occupant. At the center stands a 22-foot statue of Zeus, poised with a lightning bolt raised to strike. Children of Zeus inherit powers tied to the sky and storms. Their primary ability is electrokinesis, the control of electricity, ranging from small shocks to full lightning strikes. They also possess aerokinesis, the power to manipulate air and wind, which can create vortexes, sustain limited flight, or provide breathable air underwater. Together, these abilities form weather manipulation, allowing them to summon storms, tornadoes, and thunderstorms. The design of the cabin reflects the children who live there. They are often described as natural leaders, strong-willed and commanding, with an intimidating presence even among other demigods. They feel an affinity for high places such as mountains and aircraft, though this does not make them immune to fear of heights or injury from falls. Cabin 2. Hera. Next stands Cabin 2, the domain of Hera, queen of the gods and goddess of marriage. It resembles Zeus's cabin in design, but on a smaller scale. The bronze doors are engraved with peacock feathers that shimmer in shifting colors, and the exterior is decorated with pomegranates and flowering vines, both symbols of fertility and fidelity. The decorative exterior contrasts with the interior, which is deliberately barren. White columns encircle a central statue of Hera, and the cold, empty space emphasizes its function as a shrine rather than a dormitory. Hera does not produce demigod children. As the goddess of marriage and fidelity, she remains loyal to Zeus and does not take mortal partners. This makes Cabin 2 unique among the Olympian cabins. It has no residence and no bunk beds, serving only as a symbolic structure. Its presence at Camp Half-Blood reflects Hera's authority and her role as protector of marriage, even if no demigods ever claim it as home. Cabin 3. Poseidon. Facing the ocean, Cabin 3 marks the power of Poseidon, god of the sea and earthquakes. The building is long and low, built from rough gray stone with seashells and bits of coral pressed into its surface. All the windows face the ocean, reflecting its connection to the sea. Inside, the air is cool and damp, with the faint smell of salt water. The space is plain and sparsely furnished, centered around a fountain used for iris messaging, which allows communication beyond the camp. Decorations are minimal, with the cabin's simplicity reflecting the small number of Poseidon's children. The powers of these demigods are rooted in hydrokinesis, the ability to control water in all its forms. They can shape currents, summon waves, and even draw on ice or vapor when needed. Contact with water restores their strength, speeds up healing, and provides endurance in battle. They also possess natural resistance to pressure and extreme temperatures, allowing them to survive safely in deep seas. Some can sense their exact position in the ocean, giving them an innate ability for navigation. Beyond water, Poseidon's children show ties to his wider domains. They can communicate with and command sea creatures, and they share a bond with horses, which Poseidon is also said to have created. Because Poseidon is the Earthshaker, his children may inherit limited control over tremors, though this ability is rare and largely untested in canon. In temperament, they often mirror the sea itself, steady and supportive one moment, but impulsive and storm-driven the next. Cabin 4. Demeter. Covered in vines and grass, Cabin 4 reflects Demeter's role as goddess of agriculture and harvest. The building is covered in greenery, with grass growing across the roof and vines climbing its walls. The porch is decorated with wildflowers and roses, and the cabin itself is painted a light brown to resemble fertile soil. Inside, the floor is layered with soft grass, and an oak tree rises through the center to support the ceiling. The effect is that of a living treehouse, blending comfort with the presence of nature. The children of Demeter possess chlorokinesis, the ability to control and manipulate plants. They can accelerate growth, shape vegetation, and weaponize crops to restrain or overwhelm opponents. In natural settings, their powers are strongest, but even in cities they can coax life from seeds they keep with them. Among the most gifted, some can summon karpoi, grain spirits that can be used in combat or defense. Beyond their battlefield abilities, Cabin 4 plays a practical role in camp life. They cultivate and maintain the vast strawberry fields within Camp Half-Blood, ensuring crops grow year-round. The harvest is sold and the revenue funds the camp's operations. This makes the children of Demeter essential not only for their powers, but also for the camp's survival and stability. In character, they reflect both the nurturing and relentless aspects of nature. Calm and steady when conditions are favorable, but capable of unleashing sudden growth or overwhelming force when threatened, they embody the dual role of Demeter as provider and defender. Cabin 5, Ares. Cabin 5 stands strong, home to the children of Ares, god of war. The building resembles a fortress more than a home, painted in a rough red with a roof lined in barbed wire. Mounted above the entrance is the head of a boar, one of Ares' sacred animals, serving as both a warning and a symbol of ferocity. Inside, the space is cramped and noisy. Rows of heavy bunks press against the walls, weapons and shields are stacked in corners, and the air carries the smell of leather, oil, and metal. The constant clang of sparring or sharpening blades gives the cabin the feel of an armory rather than a dormitory. The children of Ares are natural warriors. They are born with greater strength, speed, and endurance than most demigods, and they have an instinctive talent for combat. Their affinity with weapons borders on supernatural, allowing them to pick up and master almost any blade, spear, or shield with ease. Many also project a battle aura, an intimidating presence that unsettles enemies while emboldening allies, giving them an edge before the fight even begins. Despite their reputation for recklessness, Ares' children are not only brawlers. They inherit tactical sense as well as aggression, able to plan attacks and organize defenses when the camp comes under threat. Inside their own cabin, tempers often run high, with frequent sparring matches that sometimes erupt into full brawls. Yet, when united against an outside enemy, they form one of the most disciplined and fearsome fighting units in Camp Half-Blood. Cabin 6, Athena. Cabin 6 belongs to Athena, goddess of wisdom, strategy, and crafts, and it looks as disciplined as its occupants. The building is built from gray stone with an owl carved above the doorway, representing her symbol. White curtains hang in the windows, giving the cabin a simple but dignified appearance. Inside, the space functions as both a library and a workshop. Tables are covered with scrolls, maps, and models of cities, while shelves hold books and blueprints. Workbenches are filled with tools and half-finished designs. The bunks are pushed to the walls, showing that study and planning come before rest. Athena's children are created differently from most demigods. Known as brain children, they are said to be born from the goddess's mind rather than through a mortal union, carrying her intelligence directly. Their abilities are not elemental but intellectual. They excel at strategy, architecture, engineering, and invention. In battle, they can analyze situations quickly, anticipate enemy moves, and design traps or formations that turn the tide. Their talent for planning often makes them indispensable leaders. These strengths also shape their personalities. Athena's children are confident, disciplined, and often take command naturally. However, this intellect can lead to hubris, the belief that their judgment surpasses everyone else's. That overconfidence can create friction with allies or blind them to flaws in their own plans. In Camp Half-Blood, Cabin 6 represents the idea that every victory begins with knowledge, and that wisdom can be as powerful a weapon as any blade. Cabin 7, Apollo. At first glance, Cabin 7 looks modest, but when the sun touches its walls, the entire structure glows as though made of solid gold. This radiant effect transforms it into one of the most striking cabins in Camp Half-Blood. Inside, the space is bright and orderly, arranged for both living and training. Rows of bunks line the walls to house its large population, and at the center is a hearth that doubles as an infirmary, where Apollo's children treat the injured. Instruments, archery targets, and medical supplies are scattered throughout, reflecting the wide range of Apollo's domains: healing, music, poetry, and prophecy. The children of Apollo inherit diverse gifts. Many are unmatched in archery, their accuracy and speed setting them apart even among demigods. Others excel in music and poetry, using their voices or instruments to inspire allies or lift morale, abilities often compared to a form of magical influence. A large number develop skills in healing, able to accelerate natural recovery, close wounds, cure poison, and ease pain through divine energy and herbal remedies. On rare occasions, some inherit a trace of prophecy, receiving brief glimpses of the future, though never with the clarity or consistency of the camp's oracle. These powers shape their daily lives and personalities. Apollo's children are often expressive and competitive, drawn to performance whether in battle, music, or leadership. They can appear boastful, but their drive for recognition mirrors their father's own brilliance and ego. Within Camp Half-Blood, they are indispensable. Archers on the battlefield, medics in the infirmary, and performers who bring life to the camp, embodying the many roles of Apollo himself. Cabin 8. Artemis. Cabin 8 is dedicated to Artemis, goddess of the moon, the hunt, and wilderness. The building is crafted from silver materials that shimmer under moonlight, and at night it glows faintly as though lit from within. The design is simple but striking, reflecting Artemis's purity and independence. Inside, the furnishings are minimal. Plain silver bunks, bare walls, and little decoration beyond moon symbols. The cabin is functional rather than comfortable, prepared for temporary guests rather than permanent residents. Because Artemis is a maiden goddess, she does not have demigod children, and Cabin 8 has no regular occupants. Instead, it serves as lodging for the hunters of Artemis whenever they visit Camp Half-Blood. The hunters are a band of maidens who have sworn loyalty to the goddess, traveling the world to hunt monsters and carry out her missions. Upon joining, the hunters are granted agelessness, meaning they cease to grow older, though they can still be killed in battle or by injury. They gain heightened senses, exceptional skill in archery and tracking, and animal-like instincts that make them unmatched hunters. Many retain the abilities of their divine parent if they were demigods before taking the oath. Together, these gifts make the Hunters of Artemis one of the most formidable groups allied with the Olympians, even though Cabin 8 itself remains empty most of the year. Cabin 9. Hephaestus. Cabin 9 resembles a forge more than a home, built for the children of Hephaestus, god of fire, forges, and craftsmanship. From the outside, it resembles an industrial bunker built from bronze and iron panels with a heavy vault-like door. Smoke and heat often vent from the roof, giving the impression that the cabin itself is always at work. Inside, the air is hot and filled with the scent of oil and smoke. Workbenches, gears, and scraps of metal cover every surface, while half-finished machines stand in various stages of construction. The bunks are reinforced compartments built into the walls, designed more like storage than furniture. The cabin's constant clanging and hammering make it feel like a forge first and a dormitory second. The children of Hephaestus inherit a natural mastery of mechanics and invention. They can design weapons, armor, and even automatons with instinctive precision. Many display technopathy, the ability to sense flaws, diagnose malfunctions, and manipulate machinery almost intuitively. On rare occasions, a child of Hephaestus is born with pyrokinesis, the power to create and control fire. This ability is feared within the cabin, remembered as a curse, since one of their ancestors with this gift is said to have burned down an entire city. Their talents extend beyond the workshop. Hephaestus's children are skilled fighters, often wielding weapons of their own creation. They are known for their reliability and loyalty, forming the backbone of the camp's defenses. Though they can appear withdrawn, absorbed in their projects, they are problem solvers who provide solutions in crises and keep the camp running. Cabin 9 embodies their nature, unpolished, hardworking, and indispensable. The mechanical heart of Camp Half-Blood. Cabin 10. Aphrodite. With pink walls, Cabin 10 reflects Aphrodite's domain of love and beauty. From the outside, it resembles a perfectly kept cottage, painted in soft pink with white trim. Lace curtains hang in the windows, and flower boxes overflow with roses and carnations. The pastel doorway adds to its charm, making it one of the most decorative cabins in Camp Half-Blood. Inside, the air is heavy with perfume, and every surface is arranged with precision. Mirrors, makeup tools, and carefully chosen fabrics dominate the space, giving it a polished and elegant appearance. Behind the neat arrangement, however, lies the sense that presentation matters more than comfort. The children of Aphrodite inherit beauty and allure beyond that of normal mortals. Their most notable gift is charm speak, the ability to influence others through their voice. This power is rare but potent, ranging from subtle persuasion to commands that are difficult to resist, especially for those unprepared to counter it. In addition, they possess exceptional social awareness, reading emotions with ease and manipulating dynamics within groups. Some use these skills to mediate and reconcile conflicts, while others exploit them to sow rivalries or gain advantage. Though not warriors in the traditional sense, the children of Aphrodite wield influence as effectively as any weapon. Their charm speak can disarm an opponent or turn allies against one another, shifting the outcome of battles without a sword being drawn. Their beauty and charisma mask a sharp edge, reminding everyone at Camp Half-Blood that love is not only gentle, but also dangerous, and that persuasion itself can be the most subtle form of power. Cabin 11. Hermes. Cabin 11 is dedicated to Hermes, god of travelers, merchants, and thieves. From the outside, it looks plain and worn, with faded paint and weathered wood. Inside, the cabin is perpetually crowded. Bunks creak under the weight of too many campers, and belongings spill into every available space. The air carries a mix of sweat, food, and the faint tang of mischief, with winged shoes, lockpicks, and half-finished pranks scattered across the floor. For most of Camp Half-Blood's history, Cabin 11 also served as the overflow cabin, housing all unclaimed demigods. Only after the gods swore to acknowledge all their children did this role diminish. But the legacy of being a refuge for the unclaimed remains central to its identity. The children of Hermes inherit their father's versatility. They are fast, agile, and resourceful, often excelling in whatever task is needed. Many display skill in stealth and thievery, such as picking locks, moving unseen, or slipping through defenses. Others show a knack for navigation and travel, rarely losing their way even in unfamiliar terrain. Hermes' influence as messenger and merchant also gives his children an instinct for persuasion and bargaining, allowing them to strike deals or talk their way out of danger. This versatility shaped not only their powers, but also the culture of the cabin. Life in Cabin 11 blends mischief with resilience. The true children of Hermes embrace cunning and pranks, keeping camp life unpredictable. At the same time, the cabin's history as a home for the unclaimed makes it a place of belonging for those who once felt overlooked. This dual role defines Hermes' children: clever tricksters, loyal friends, and unpredictable opponents, embodying their father's speed, cunning, and adaptability. Cabin 12. Dionysus. Cabin 12 is dedicated to Dionysus, god of wine, festivity, and madness. The exterior is draped with climbing grapevines that twist up the walls and across the roof, filling the air with a faint, sweet scent of fruit and earth. Inside, the cabin is simple but carries hints of its patron. Rows of plain bunks line the walls, while creeping vines occasionally push through cracks and spread across the floor or ceiling. Fabrics in wine red and deep green add touches of color, but the overall effect is practical rather than ornate, a space more defined by nature than decoration. The children of Dionysus inherit powers tied to growth and influence. They possess chlorokinesis, the ability to command vines, grapes, and other plants, often working alongside Demeter's children to maintain the strawberry fields. These fields are more than symbolic. They fund the entire camp through their year-round harvest. Some of Dionysus's children also reflect his wilder nature, with the rare ability to induce brief states of confusion or disorientation in others. This subtle power echoes their father's association with wine and madness, making them unpredictable opponents when pushed into conflict. These abilities connect directly to their place in camp life. By sustaining the strawberry fields, they play a central role in Camp Half-Blood survival and finances. In battle, their strength is indirect but significant, manipulating vines to control terrain or unbalancing enemies through confusion. Cabin 12 embodies Dionysus's paradoxical nature, providers of sustenance and stability on one hand, but also agents of chaos when circumstances demand it.